in cardinal with the black shorts. Penn State will serve first, and Bonnie Bremner starts out serving. Set left right off the bat, and the first ball is hit straight down by number 15, Logan Tom.
Penn State does not want to serve the defensive specialist. Jamie Gregory in to pass the ball. They got Tom with a huge seam in the block.
Out of the back line, here comes Kachiamani. She tips it, and she is going to get a kill.
And Chris, I think that is a huge key in this match. Who wins the backcourt battle, the attacks from behind the 10-foot line? These two teams quite possibly could neutralize each other with a potent offense and defense.
Left side, ball is blocked, slam dink. And the put away on the right side. That was Katie Schumacher with the rejection. She's a sophomore from Chicago, Illinois. And Penn State leads 1-0. Kagawa, back set, here comes Tom, and Levy stuffs it. I think most observers, or any observers that were giving Penn State a shot in this one, thought that they had to get off to a fast start.
Certainly so, because Stanford is notoriously a slow starting team. If you're going to capitalize, it must be in game one. Stanford, 30-0 in game one NCAA matches in the 90s.
So Penn State 2 and Stanford nothing. Here is Logan Tom, the freshman from Salt Lake City. Good pass by Amanda Rome. Back set. Here comes Schumacher. Ball dug up. Stanford a very good defensive team. Here comes Lindsay Yamasaki. She's dug. Bremner back set. Here comes Schumacher, and she rails it. Schumacher with her second kill. She's a sophomore from Chicago, a basketball, volleyball prodigy. Very athletic and really coming into her own this year.
Well, Schumacher coming off of a great semifinal win. 15 kills, hit 33% and 4 blocks against Pacific.
Kalma Miller with the serve. The defensive specialist is in. Set left side. Here comes Yamasaki, and she is stuffed. So Penn State certainly has scouted Stanford very thoroughly with head coach Russ Rose and his squad, and they jump out 3-0.
It'll be very important for Stanford's outside hitters. They are young. They're both freshmen. They have the capability of playing like international players, but can they? Yamasaki with 2 quick hitting errors.
Timeout, Stanford. Ball is spiked out of bounds, and it's 5-0. So Penn State, the decided underdog in this one. Most observers think Stanford is too strong, too tough, too many weapons, as Walsh pounds it through.
So Walsh started with an error, then quickly trying to loosen up there with the kill. Denise Corlett, the assistant coach, said right before the match, I'm worried Walsh may be a little bit tight. She's putting a lot of pressure on herself to win this one.
Jennifer Detmer, the junior from Thousand Oaks, is the middle blocker in the front line. She's 6'3". Back set, and Schumacher off to a great start. She pounds it off the hands, out of bounds. Substitutions coming in for the first time. Emily Lawrence enters the game in the backcourt. She's a sophomore from Oregon. Schumacher serves 5-0 as Penn State is off to a terrific start. Kachiamani jamming deep. There's Logan Tom. Back set. Walsh rejected.
Wow, and Walsh getting the matchup that she wants, going up against one of the shortest blockers on the floor in Amanda Rome at 5'10". This is the matchup that Dawn Shaw wanted. Walsh has a seam there. She needs to keep her vision.
Coming tight, and the ball hit the antenna, and suddenly it's 7-0. 7 hitting errors for Stanford. That means they've either hit it out, got stuffed,
hitting
or hit it into the net.
42% as a team.
And the put away there by Carrie Walsh. Walsh has won 2 NCAA titles already.
And Walsh preparing for that jump serve, had 4 aces in the regional semis, actually staying down, going to float. This is a change. She jumped against Long Beach.
Here comes Kachiamani. She hits it right over Kagawa. That's a pretty good matchup for Penn State. And the ball hit out of bounds by Walsh. Walsh not jump serving, could be an indicator. You see she has a little patch on the back of her arm. Could be a heating pad or some kind of medicine.
I talked to her yesterday. Her shoulder very slow after all, very sore after all the swings she took against Long Beach. Didn't swing at all in practice.
Yamasaki dug. Bremner tries to jam. She can't. Bremner set left. Here's Schoenveld, who was outstanding in the semifinal, and she rips it.
Carrie Schoenfeld has been big in big-time matches. I talked to Bonnie Bremner right before the match, and she said, hey, I'm going to go to Shoney as often as I can. I know she'll produce.
Pretty good pass there. Kagawa sneaks it into Detmer, and Detmer collapses it. Detmer, a first-team All-Pac-10 selection, the best blocker on the team.
And in fact, Detmer, somebody that was sick all night last night, throwing up in the hotel room, did not practice at all today, didn't think she was even going to be able to play.
Bremner back to Kachiamani, and Tom stuffs her. So Stanford on the board with its first point.
Tom playing so relaxed. Amazing to think she's a freshman playing in such a high-pressure game, but don't forget she has a lot of international experience.
Schoenfeld, nice touch by Kagawa. Looking for a point, off speed. Penn State keeps it in play. 8-1, deep shot. Good pass by Stanford into the middle. Detmer can't get it. Set a little slow coming out of the hands of Kagawa. And now we have a substitution. Mishka Levy comes in, number 5 in white. Calvin Miller goes out. 8-1 in game 1.
And that's the reason Stanford making so many unforced errors with 9 hitting errors. Very uncharacteristic of this team.
Jen Detmer on the second attempt gets the put away, number 32. Now, Detmer goes out, and Jamie Gregory comes in, a senior from Westminster, California. Her father, Gerald, a great star for the USA team and UC Santa Barbara back in the mid-70s. One of my old teammates. Conrad is dug. Schumacher keeps it in. 8-1, Stanford on the attack. Over the top. I told you Kachiamani could play some defense. She pops it up. Here comes Tom, and Tom walks it out of bounds.
That ball's out of bounds by the Cardinal. Penn State.
So Don Shaw forced to do some coaching, some real coaching in game 1 as his team trailing. The 10th hitting error for Stanford. As Penn State really putting on the pressure. And Penn State really confused on that one as Walsh delivers.
Once again, the back row attack, such a factor for Stanford. When they don't have the pass, the good news for the Cardinal is they always have that outlet, and it produces a lot of kills from behind the 3-meter line.
Schoenfeld, this is the best Cardinal rotation with their 3 big boppers up front, and Penn State gets through unblemished.
And both outside hitters for Stanford starting uncharacteristically so. They're freshmen. This is the first time they've ever played in a match with this much pressure.
Tom is hitting negative. So is Yamasaki. As that serve is out of bounds. Penn State head coach Russ Rose told us that he is going to instruct his team, or he did instruct his team, to serve very, very tough. So we may see some service errors, but so far it's working. Good pass. Here comes Rome down the line. Good dig by Logan Tom. Gregory out of the back line, and Levy.
When you're going to set the pipe, you need to set it for an offensive weapon. Don't set your DS. She's got Logan Tom right there in middle back. Go with Tom in that back row attack.
Levy will serve. 8-1 Penn State. Early in game 1. Here comes Yamasaki. Levy dug it. Schumacher off speed. Nice dig. Back set. Here comes Conrad, and Conrad puts it away. Tara Conrad, sophomore from Torrance, California.
Earning the start tonight because she provides such an offensive spark in the middle, can hit the quick tempos, also can hit those slower second tempo sets.
Levy goes out. There's Calvin Miller, a former dancer in her earlier years, danced for 10 years, got great footwork, and a key defender. Here comes Conrad.
3-person serve receive deep.
Conrad has a very good jumper. A set Kachiamani, and she puts it away. So Lauren Kachiamani gets her second kill. And a sub coming in.
An amazing story with Kachiamani. Has decided to forego any international volleyball experience. Was invited to try out with the national team. Instead, doing an internship at the Rutgers Museum. Tonight is her final night of volleyball forever.
Stanford touched the net. It was Walsh. The set may have been a little bit tight. And so Penn State gets a point. Leilani Schlattfeld, who had a marvelous semifinal with a couple of aces and 18 digs, is serving. Yamasaki off speed, and Kachiamani. We saw that in the open. If you dink it or you fluff it, she hangs and stuffs it.
And right now, Penn State playing with so much composure. This is a very focused team. You see Lauren's asking for it right now to keep the intensity.
Sarah Clark is into the lineup in the left front. Here comes Walsh, and Walsh puts it away. Sarah Clark came in last year in the final against Long Beach State and had 18 kills, a career high. So she's expected to give him some life.
Well, and I asked Don Shaw, will you hesitate to put Sarah Clark in if Yamasaki starts a little bit slow? He said, absolutely not. I can usually tell if Lindsay Yamasaki is going to have a good night on her first 2 or 3 swings.
Clark has been grumpy because she hasn't been playing. We'll see how she responds here. 10-1, game 1. Glad you're with us on ESPN2. Calma Miller with a dig. Out of the back line, double contact. Wow. Our first referee tonight is Joan Powell. Our umpire is Ann Pafal. Joan is normally a very liberal referee. You really have to chuck it, lose a couple of fingers to get a double call. Into the middle, little tip by Kachiamani, and that ball goes down. Calma Miller goes out. Mishka Levy is back in. Kachiamani serving. And they're working on Walsh. Around the horn, ball blocked, poked up. Nicely done. Out of the back line, here comes Conrad. Dig by Rome. Chance for a point. Back line, here comes Kachiamani. Walsh is there. They'll set Walsh. Here she comes. And off the top of the tape and down. You notice how good hitters usually make that play happen.
Well, you practice those, don't you?
Game 1, the national championship final. Chris Marlowe, Heather Cox, Penn State jumping on favored Stanford early. Nittany Lions getting out 7-0. Make it 8-0.
Hello. That's what you want to do. Bonnie Bremner setting an excellent game 1. Go to the weakness on Stanford right now. That's Lindsay Kagawa blocking right front. Carrie Schoenfeld will see a lot of sets in this rotation.
10-1. They serve Clark into the middle. Conrad, ball dug. Penn State point could be coming up. Right side. No! Schumacher is rejected by Logan Tom. Logan Tom in the semifinal had a career high 27 kills. She hit 564.
She combined with Yamasaki, who hit 591. I mean, you cannot beat a team when both of the outside hitters hit above 500.
Stanford in its best rotation. They set Levy, and Levy hits it off the head of Walsh. So 2 times Stanford has gotten into their power rotation with Kagawa serving and the big people up front, and no points allowed. Carrie Schoenfeld serving. Kagawa back set. Ooh, and a little tunder down the line by Tara Conrad.
Conrad so strong off of one leg. She delays, takes a quick short step to adjust, and a huge long jump to get to the ball. Kagawa sets a nice balloon up there for her to attack.
10-1. Penn State's passing has been immaculate so far. Ball poked up, that's good. Left side, Stanford can get a point. No, Mishka Levy. You know, there are some that say that Mishka Levy is a better blocker than Lauren Kachiamani. Well, so far, she's doing well.
Well, what she does is she reaches her hands over the net and just grabs that ball.
Levy with 3 blocks so far. They'll set Walsh on the left, and Walsh pounds it down the line. Kerry Walsh getting a lot of action. Walsh with 6 kills, but she's hitting just .083.
And look at the Nittany Lions out-blocking Stanford by 5. This is going to be a blocking duel. Stanford 5th in the nation in blocks per game, Penn State 6th.
Tara Conrad to serve. Stanford trailing 10-1. Conrad rips it. Still a pretty good pass. Into the middle, Kachiamani tip. Clark goes and gets it. Nice pancake. Driven with butter. Now Bremner will set back. Here comes Schumacher, and she hits it off the hands, out of bounds.
And Chris, I think that's about the 3rd or 4th high hand shot we've seen. Certainly a strategy by Penn State coming in. They respect Stanford's blocks, so you see them looking for high hands. Watch Schumacher and how high she swings, even one-on-one. She goes up off the hands of the outside hitter. That's a very tough ball to dig because it deflects off.
Schlafeld serving Walsh, and Tom hits it into the net. Interesting strategy. Schlafeld has a great serve, and they're working into the deep corner and trying to serve Walsh, who's an excellent passer.
Well, Russ Rose said before this match he wouldn't serve people, he would serve strategically to try and take away a certain offense. Right now, perhaps trying to take away the slide of Detmer.
Well, one thing, if you serve in the corner, you make the setter have to run backwards, which is very difficult. Here comes Clark, dug by Schlafeld. Left side, here comes Rome, and Rome is rejected. Now Rome is in there for passing and defense. Her strength is not hitting on the left side. Game 1. Penn State led 8-0 before Stanford scored a point.
Services for Carrie Walsh.
11-1, now make it 11-2 with that ace.
That is huge for Carrie Walsh, who had 4 aces in the regional semi, 0 aces against Long Beach. Sort of took her time to relax in this match. Started with the floater, eased into the jumper once her shoulder got warm.
I disagree. I think what happened, she said, well, I'll serve my little patty cakes. I'll get my shoulder warmed up, but now I'm mad, so I'm going to serve some jumpers. We're getting blown out here. Little off speed there. Bremner pops it up. Kachimani can't kill it. Kagawa sits left. Good pass, Bremner. Back set. Kachimani pokes it through, and Stanford's into the net. Is Walsh mad now? Is that what you said?
Well, I think she's mad and her shoulder is warm, and that's the reason I think she eased on into this, wanted to make sure that she had the confidence because her serve was not very successful against Long Beach.
Good touch. Pass up to the net. It's 12-2. Kachimani over the top and got a touch. So Lauren Kachimani carrying the load. And Stanford takes its second timeout. Chris Marlowe and Heather Cox. The upset is brewing here in game 1. That ball is ruled down by the umpire, and I think rightfully so. Side out to Stanford.
The second kill by any outside hitter for Stanford. Already 17 hitting errors, just 16 in the whole match against Long Beach.
13-2. Who would have thought it? Schoenfeld going over the top. Detmer is stuck. I think the key now for Penn State, obviously you have to try to close them out. You don't want to let Stanford get momentum, even if they come back to 13-10 and take away that good feeling that they have.
Right, and I don't think Penn State is a team that would get overly confident or cocky. They have been through way too much adversity to do anything but stay focused and intense throughout this match, whether it's 3, 4, or 5 games.
Kagawa tries to tip. It's rejected. 14-2. First game point. Logan Tom hit it out. And that is going to do it for game 1.
I've been calling a lot of Stanford games for a long time, played against them for 4 years, and I can't recall a game ever in the history of Stanford volleyball where they hit negative as a team for an entire game.
Set left. Here comes Kachimani, and she hits it off the block out of bounds. So Stanford has its first lead of the evening at 1-0 in game 2. There's Lauren Kachimani, named co-player of the year yesterday, along with Carrie Walsh. Into the middle, chicken wing, nicely done by Conrad. And a free ball to Penn State. Bremner tries to slap it, and she does. Walsh is so good at picking those up, she thought that Yamasaki would take it.
And normally, Stanford, a team that does not create a lot of chaos on the floor. So far, we're seeing them look at a lot of balls. You have to go and then decide.
Here comes Logan Tom, and she goes right over the top. Logan Tom, one of the bright young prospects in the United States, maybe the best young prospect. She's going to get a tryout with the USA national team after this championship match. She'll be heading there in January to try out, and most observers think that she could make it. Left side, they set Rome, and Walsh puts her in the closet.
And Bonnie Bremner needs to recognize that. Sure, she got her one-on-one, but that's Stanford's game plan. When Walsh is blocking, they give Walsh the entire right side of the court, let the middle focus on somebody else. Bonnie needs to recognize that and not go to Rome.
Nice tip, Rome. Once again, Stanford's best rotation is when Lindsay Kagawa is serving. Conrad, Tom, and Walsh up front. In the semifinal, they scored 40% of their points in that rotation. So far tonight, they only have 1. So here is Logan Tom, set to put the ball in play. Leading the team in aces. She had 43 coming into the tournament. And Bremner tries to slap it. She has not been effective at doing that this year. She was much better last year when she was jumping a bit higher.
And I think that's important that she's a little bit more of an offensive weapon tonight than she has been throughout the NCAA tournament. So far, 1 for 1 on the evening.
And hit inside the block. I think you have to be very judicious when you do that slap down, especially if your hitters are hitting well. You don't want to do that too much.
This time, smart move. Hey, if you make a mistake, go to your bread and butter player. Lauren's so strong off of one leg.
3-1 Stanford. Cardinal was mixed up on that play. Set the pipe. Tom wasn't there. Over the top. Tom digs. Kagawa sets quick. Walsh was there. Bremner slam dink deep. You know what's interesting? Stanford is really charging up for the Bremner shot, but she can't dig it straight down. She's whiffling it long.
And you'd think I'm sure they've watched several tapes on Penn State that they would recognize that. Last year she slammed it down in front of the 10-foot line. This year she goes about 18 to 20 feet.
3-3 as Yamasaki hits it out. Yamasaki calling for a touch.
And Yamasaki still without a kill. That was her 4th hitting error of the night.
Here comes Walsh on the run. And she hits it out. Boy, they're looking for hands. Stanford calling for touches, but they're not getting.
And right now they need to calm down. Yamasaki yelling at the line official, asking for a touch. They need to pass and execute.
Over the top and down. If you're Penn State, this is the scenario you want. You want to put pressure on Stanford so they start bickering a little. There are some young players on the Stanford squad, and you have to get them going a little bit.
I think that's the key, and try and get Yamasaki off the floor. Get Clark on. That's what they're trying to do, is sort of ruffle Yamasaki's feathers early.
Detmer into the front line. Back set. Nice dig by Tom. Right side, Walsh is off balance. Schumacher will set left. Little tip. They'll scoop it back. Here comes Tom out of the back line. Levy pops it up. Back set. Here comes Schumacher. Kagawa pops it up. Free ball, Penn State. Set left. Here comes Schoenfeld, and Tom digs her. Kagawa went under the net. Kagawa made a beautiful set, but her right foot was all the way across the center line. Good call.
And that's a devastating momentum breaker because Stanford got an incredible dig out of the freshman Logan Tom.
Kagawa, her first year as a starter, has done a great job all year. Here comes Yamasaki, and she's done. Ball back over to Stanford. 4-3, Penn State, game 2. Walsh picked off one, looking for Detmer. Back set. Here comes Schumacher. Popped up by Tom. Left side, here comes Yamasaki. Tip! Got it. That ball is down. Nice play by Yamasaki.
Very heads-up play. Yamasaki, an incredible basketball player, led this team as a freshman, led the basketball team in points and rebounding, showing that she can do the same thing here on the volleyball court.
Head coach Tara Vanderveer unhappy to lose Yamasaki. And trying to spike. Bremner went over the net. She's in the back row. She can't do that. So Detmer causes an error, and it's 4-4.
We saw Detmer hold up 3 fingers, calling out that there are 3 attackers. Bremner still in the backcourt, cannot attack.
Well, she's humming her jumper now. And Penn State will get the ball back. Penn State on a 35-match win streak. Only loss for Russ Rose came in the season opener to Mary Wise's Florida Gator. Coming over, Rome punches it. Strong serving by Schoenfeld, and the put away by number 12, Amanda Rome.
And Chris, you talk about that loss to Florida early in the season. Russ said at the time he was fiddling with the lineup quite a bit. He said, I'm willing to risk failure in September if it means better production in December, and that's exactly what's happened.
Here comes Walsh. Nice dig by Bremner. Schumacher sets left. Oh, and double contact called by our first referee, Joan Powell. So a couple of ball handling errors for Russ Rose's squad. 5-4, Penn State game 2. Nittany Lions won the opener, 15-2. Cacciamani puts a little blast to it. The Big Ten's leading hitter. She was 6th in the nation during the regular season.
And this has been potent all season long. Takes an approach just as she would across the net, but instead about 3 meters behind. Very difficult to block. You need to be much more patient if you're Stanford blocking.
Detmer around the horn, little tip. Nice up by Conrad. Tom rips it. And Tom got a touch. So Logan Tom, who can hit every position, has her 3rd kill. She's still hitting negative, however. The outside hitters for Stanford not getting the job done. Here is Jamie Gregory set to serve. And there's a block. Tell you what, Schumacher has to fake a little bit. She came straight in, hit it right where she was looking, and
well, and it's deceptive too. Logan Tom one-on-one. Most hitters think if you're one-on-one, you can crank it sharp cross court. Against Tom or Walsh, you cannot.
Big hit, it's dug. Cacciamani, Gregory pops it up. Set left, Tom didn't take an approach. Tips it, Bremner into the middle, Cacciamani. Stanford, little pinball defense, but it's going out of bounds. Penn State leads this match 1-0. Make that a 15-2 blowout in game 1. This is game 2, 5-5. Chris Marlowe and Heather Cox. The story of the match so far: 23 hitting errors for Penn State. It has not been for Stanford. 23 hitting errors for the Stanford Cardinal. It has not been the smooth performance we expected, at least so far. And a lot of that has to do with Penn State. Joust coming. Tom rejected. Oh, I thought that was pretty good. Maybe someone touched the net. Tagawa had it up. Penn State gets a point.
And how fun is it watching Lauren Kachiamani and the way that she's blocking next to her setter. Watch Kachiamani just reach over and help out Bonnie Bremner against Tom.
6-5. Set left, here comes Tom, and she drills it.
And that's what Tom needs to take a full approach. The last couple of attacks she's had have been just off of 2 feet. She hasn't gotten behind that 10-foot line to get the explosiveness that she's known for.
Once again, here is the top Stanford rotation. Bremner slaps it. Yamasaki goes and gets it, and nobody helps her out.
These are just mistakes that Stanford is making that I have not seen them make all season long. This is a tight Stanford team.
Don Shaw concerned now. His team lost game 1, and they're not playing well here in game 2. Set left, here comes Walsh. She's blocked, it's poked up. Levy on the pass, Bremner back set. Walsh was there. Bremner back set, Kachiamani against Walsh, and she wails it out of bounds, no touch. What a matchup in the net. Lauren Kachiamani against Walsh and company. Tom in the semis, brilliant. Tom so far in the final hitting -143. There is a touch. Penn State's problem in the last 2 NCAA finals was that their outside hitters couldn't produce. So far tonight, they are.
They are producing extremely well. Schoenfeld with her 4th kill, 0 hitting errors so far, hitting 50%. And now a little mix-up matchup blocking. Schoenfeld this time going up against Yamasaki, leaving Bremner on the left side. That's a smart move. Didn't work that time against Yamasaki, however.
Yeah, Yamasaki gets the kill. Jen Detmer at 6'3", back into the front line. Gregory goes out. Conrad trying to warm up her jumper, which is outstanding. Good handle by Schlattfeld. Kachiamani, what a dig. Going over the net was Detmer. So Penn State will get it back. 6-5. Penn State leading Stanford here in game 2. Checking back into the front line is Katie Schumacher. And also in is Emily Lawrence. 15 substitutions per game, up from 12 last year, so we'll see a lot more of that. Overhand pass is good. Set is tight. Yamasaki. And Levy could not handle it. Good shot by Lindsay Yamasaki. Her numbers were down earlier in the year, but she has raised her hitting percentage to .271 now, really getting the feel of it.
Well, Yamasaki had off-season knee surgery. It took her a while to get back into the flow. Don Shaw was smart. He eased her back into it.
Schumacher. Good dig by Tom. Stanford defense starting to pop up some balls. Bremner sets left. And Schumacher gets the hit, but it's out of bounds. Point Stanford. Tied up at 6-6.
And that's a pass. Stanford finally scoring in transition.
Walsh set to serve again. Just had 11 aces during the regular season because of that shoulder problem. Back set, here comes Schoenfeld. Poked up and unable to retrieve. Give the kill to Schoenfeld. Schoenfeld hitting .556 with 5 kills, no errors so far.
Another phenomenal player who will not continue playing volleyball after her year is up here at Penn State. Going to be a teacher, student teach in England next fall. Tonight, also her last night of volleyball, as is Lauren Kachiamani.
6-6, ball block, point Penn State. Give Levy the credit. Mishka Levy.
A starter, a consistent starter ever since the middle of the Big Ten season, and it's because of her blocking game. High hands across the net.
Back row attacker. Walsh's foot was on the line, and a timeout is taken. In the midst of game 2, Chris Marlowe and Heather Cox, Penn State and Stanford for the national championship in women's volleyball. Penn State has never won an NCAA title. No Eastern team ever has. Stanford has won 4. Penn State, the big underdog coming in, Heather, but they have played well, at least the first game and a half.
And give a lot of credit to the 4-time All-American Bonnie Bremner, who admittedly the last 2 championships came out a little bit tight. She's a type of player that likes to create adversity, maybe created a little bit too much the last 2 years. Tonight, very relaxed.
Bremner sets left. Down the line goes Amanda Rome. So Amanda Rome, the sophomore from Chaska, Minnesota, Lions top defender. Penn State on a 3-0 run after a 6-6 tie. And here comes Kalna Miller. Kalna is a junior from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Not a great server, but a tremendous digger. Set left, here comes Tom, and Tom says, see ya.
You cannot leave Logan Tom unattended, this time with a huge seam in the block. Lauren plays it honest. She respects all 3 attackers, is a little bit late, so Logan Tom has a huge seam. Now 5 kills for Tom.
Detmer is out, Jamie Gregory in to serve. Speaking of great defenders, Gregory, one of the best. Yamasaki pops it up, chance for a point right here. Tom gets a tight set, it's tipped. Up into the air, Bremner sets left, Rome tipping. Nice off play by Conrad. It's a tough play to do when you're a blocker. Get off the net and get that tip. Kachiamani, oh, what a spear job by Walsh, and Gregory into the banners. Great hustle by Jamie Gregory. So Penn State will get the ball back, and they bring in their best server.
Watch the hustle by Jamie Gregory. What I talked about was go and then decide. She goes and goes straight in to the stool on the sideline.
Schlotfeld serving line. Here comes Tom. Tom over the top. Nice touch by Bremner. Out of the back line, and Schoenveld set the wrong person. Here comes Tom. Tom tip. Schlotfeld got it up. Penn State shovels it over. Free ball, Stanford, right side, Conrad, and she hit it into the antenna. Penn State in double figures, leading 10-6.
And Stanford trying to give the Nittany Lions different looks, that time using Conrad as an outside hitter. They're also matchup blocking. Good strategies, just poor execution so far.
Don Shaw making a major move now. Sarah Sandrick is in. Kagawa tries to dump it. She's having a little trouble with her location, and that's going to be another point for Penn State. And timeout for Stanford. Don Shaw, what do you do now, Heather Cox, with your team?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised to see a new setter come in, not in this game, but in between 2 and 3, Shaw might make a drastic change. Bring in Robin Lewis. She was the starter a year ago, was the projected starter this year, however, had knee surgery in the offseason and never fully healed and recovered, and is still not 100%.
Penn State is on a 6-0 run, leading 12-6. Kagawa, Stanford in its best rotation, and they stuff Kachiamani. 2 players there, make it 12-7. There is Robin Lewis, very talented, a junior from Long Beach, has some injury problems this year.
Has soft hands though, watched her in warm-ups. Beautiful delivery, very consistent, and perhaps a better blocker than Kagawa.
Kachiamani able to change the rhythm. Ball poked up, Tom tips it over. Nicely done, Bremner back sets. And a dig, here it comes, and Gregory once again trying to get to it. What has to be going through Robin Lewis's mind right now? Am I going to get a chance? Yes, she is.
Speak. She's feeling like she could be ready. Talked to her dad earlier this week, and he said, hey, she's as healthy as she's been all year. She's ready to go if need be.
So you wouldn't bring her in this game?
I'd wait.
Okay.
I'd wait. Give her a chance to mentally focus. You get 10 minutes in between 2 and 3. Give her a chance to bring this team back.
She's going to get out on the court and loosen up. It's been a brilliant performance so far for the Penn State Lady Lions. Set left, here comes Walsh. She's blocked, poked up by Gregory. Walsh again, dug by Miller. Chance for a Penn State point, set left. Oh, that was a double contact, they didn't call it. Kagawa out of the back line. Here comes Bremner, sets left, Schoenveld, and she rockets it out of bounds. Big play there, that would have made it 14.
And this is a chess match right now. So much fun to watch the way these 2 teams are matchup blocking. We're seeing the setters block out of the middle. We're seeing a lot of commit, a lot of read block. Good coaching.
Logan Tom with the serve. Little step in there, Kachiamani. Bremner tips, Walsh goes and gets it. Penn State unable to bring that ball up, and Stanford gets a point. 13-8. Sometimes a rally can start with an innocent looking play like that. Logan Tom continues to serve. Dig into the middle. Ball popped up. Bremner sets right. Cacciamani is rejected.
And that is beautiful Stanford volleyball. What happened that time is Bonnie Bremner was blocking in the middle. Stanford recognized that, set the middle, and that was the reason to score in transition.
If you're wondering about Penn State substitutions, it is a very thin bench for Russ Rose. He has middle blockers he can put in. He has little pygmies, little people he can put in, but he can't put in outside hitters, and he's not going to change the setter. So here we go, critical point in the match. Cacciamani takes a rip at it. Stanford can get point number 10 right here. Not yet, ball poked up. That's good. Here comes Yamasaki, and Yamasaki nails it. Like nailing an outside jumper, she puts it into the corner. 13-10, the crowd comes alive.
Yamasaki looking a little bit more focused. You can see the intensity. She's playing a little bit looser, more relaxed. Picked up her 4th kill, still hitting negative, but much better here in game 2.
Schumacher comes back in. Nice up. Stanford goes and gets it. Out of the back line, Gregory looking for a kill. No! Cacciamani. What a play by Cacciamani. Saving a point.
The back row story is important right now. Penn State with 4 back row kills so far. Stanford with just 1 and 3 attacking errors from the backcourt.
29th hitting error. Into the middle. Here comes Sandrick, and she is rejected. Levy guessed right. 5 stuff blocks for Mishka Levy, and it's 14-10. First game point. Set left. Here comes Walsh, and she hit it out. And that will do it for game 2.
Penn State wins game 2, 15-10. Number 32, Jennifer Detmer.
Jamie Gregory will serve it. Don Shaw shifting his lineup just a bit, starting with Jen Detmer in the right front. Here's Levy, and Levy hammers it straight down.
Levy hasn't been the offensive force throughout this match. That's just her 2nd kill, but she's not getting set a lot. She's made no errors, hitting 67%. This time, Bonnie moves her away from the block. I like the movement along the net that we're seeing from Penn State.
Trying to dump it down was Kagawa. Set left, here comes Tom. Nice up by Gregory. Back set, here comes Conrad, and Conrad puts it away. Levy fell down.
A nice redirection that time by the setter, Lindsay Kagawa, running to the left side of the court and changes the direction of the ball, makes Penn State lean to the right and then have to push to their left.
Stanford's best rotation right here. Lindsay Kagawa serving. They only have 1 point in this match off this rotation.
Normally this is a rotation that scores about 20 to 30% of Stanford's points.
Schumacher gets the kill. How's Schumacher doing? She's doing just okay. She's got 5 kills and 4 blocks, hitting .56. Schoenfeld has been the best outside hitter so far.
And that's no surprise. She's the outside hitter with the most experience of this squad.
Jamming it deep was Cacciamani. Here comes Walsh. Nice up by Schoenfeld. Chance for a point. Here comes Rome against 2 big blockers. Levy scoops it up. No score, just the start of game 3. Kagawa, middle, Conrad. Nice, another dig by Schoenfeld. Back set. Schumacher couldn't get much wood on it, but it's going to be good enough.
And that's a smart play by Schumacher, recognizing that Stanford had switched up its block again, this time leaving Walsh to block Schumacher one-on-one.
Mishka Levy will serve. Penn State scores the first point of game 3. Levy's got a pretty good serve. That's tight. Putting it up, and Cacciamani stuffs Tom. Normally, when a setter goes up with one hand, go ahead and jump if you're the middle blocker, because it's hard to throw that ball outside without a ball handling error.
But
that's what Cacciamani did.
A beautiful set by Kagawa, an unforced error by Tom. One-on-one, she needs to hit angles.
Penn State getting a lot of touches. They set Rome. And I think what Bremner needs to do is any time she can get the ball away from Rome on the set, she should do that.
Well, and Chris, that's something that she mentioned to me not in a half an hour before this match.
Yep.
She said, Rome is everything defensively, but I don't need to go to her as much offensively. I'll spread it around a little bit more, and I don't want to put her in a situation where she can't succeed.
Bremner, a senior from Lisle, Illinois, trying to emulate her sister who won a championship for UCLA back in the early 90s. Cacciamani tapping it down the line. And I'm not sure what the Stanford block was doing that time. They backed up off the net, off Cacciamani. She hit it straight down. There is Julie Bremner right in the center of your screen.
And to her right, Bonnie and Julie's mom, Joy Dooley.
The dock, 2-0 Penn State. Here comes Walsh. She hits it straight down, but out of bounds, and it's 3-0.
Carrie Walsh, who is the national championship most valuable player her freshman year, not having the numbers that she did then.
Having some trouble. Little tip. Was there a touch? No, and it's 4-0. And if you're head coach Don Shaw, you have some decisions to make. Penn State leading 4-0. Still no sign of Robin Lewis, the reserve setter. Into the middle. Ball dug again by Schoenfeld. Having a great match. Here comes Rome. Rome is blocked. One thing good about Rome, when she gets blocked, she goes and gets it. Cacciamani looping it just out of bounds. Cacciamani, wow, that would have been one. Robin Lewis, a talented setter, injured during the regular season, thought she was going to start. Lindsay Kagawa thrust into the starting lineup, played well the rest of the year. Will she get her chance in this one? How long do you wait if you're Don Shaw?
Well, you don't have much more time. I mean, you've got 11 more points till this match is over. So if that's the drastic type of change he thinks he needs, I think you do it now. The problem is Kagawa is not the reason that this team is losing.
Correct.
The hitting errors and nobody bettering that second ball to get them in good swinging situations, and the ball control is why Don Shaw's team is losing.
Not suggesting that Kagawa is the entire fault, but when everything is going bad, you sometimes have to change the setter. You know that. It
worked for Pacific in the semifinals for a time. Kara Gormson benched, Tanya Dmitrievich brought in, and just brought a different look, a different tempo to Pacific.
Well, if Stanford's going to win its 5th NCAA title, they're going to have to stage the greatest comeback in NCAA women's volleyball history. Down 2-0 and 4-0 in game 3. Kalna Miller goes out. Mishka Levy is in. Logan Tom with a look that says it all. Good pass by Walsh. Out of the back line. Here comes Tom. Dug up, and it's going out of bounds. Logan Tom gets the kill.
And that's something that we normally see a little bit more of. Stanford doesn't have to pass extremely well, because when they don't, they've always got a back row gun to go to. They just haven't been able to do that so far.
Penn State has passed very, very well. Tom stuffs Bremner. Bremner had been perfect so far. She had 5 kills and no errors. That's her first one. Make it 4-1. Bremner goes and gets it. Levy trying to set over to Schoenfeld, and she racks it.
Smart play. Schoenfeld had time to look and see that Detmer had blocked her. Once again, Stanford moving the blocking matchups, keeping Kagawa in the middle.
So Bonnie Bremner will serve. This is Penn State's best rotation, with Bremner in the back line. Into Detmer, and Detmer socks it down. Good set by Kagawa.
And don't forget, Detmer has been battling the stomach virus all last night, all day today, did not practice. In fact, Don Shaw didn't even know if she would play tonight. He said, based on warm-ups, I will make that decision. Well, Detmer did start, and she's come in, but needs to be more of a blocking factor.
Sarah Sandrick is in. Here comes Schumacher, and Schumacher pounds it through. Schumacher has 7 kills. In the semifinal, she hit .333. Penn State hoping to get production out of its outside hitters. Back set on Kagawa, and the ball hit out of bounds, no touch. Logan Tom hitting high and wide.
And Kagawa doing everything she can. She's getting her hitters in the right hitting situation, setting over to Rome's side of the court.
5-1 our score. Sandrick gets the kill. Sarah Sandrick, she's a sophomore from Pelham, Alabama. Stanford's top percentage hitter on the year. And once again, back to that top serving rotation. Good pass, Levy, 2 on her, and she punches it through. That's the kind of play that's infuriating. Walsh had her hands up, and it went right in between a field goal.
Stanford doing everything it's supposed to do. Once again, it's about execution. They had 2 blockers up on the hot hitter, and still Levy able to get a kill.
5-1. Penn State ahead of Stanford. Good serve. And the tap down. Sarah Sandrick getting a little work here as Don Shaw shifting his middles. He has 3 excellent middles in Conrad, Detmer, and Sandrick.
There's Don Shaw calling the blocking signals. That's a switch. Kagawa out on the right, Walsh on the left, but still doesn't stop Kachiyamani.
The best set of the tournament for number 3, Bonnie Bremner. Watch this. Nobody thinks she's going to set the middle.
And she just splits those 2 blockers. Excellent job pushing the middle. That's a sign of a 4-year starter that's played with Lauren for 4 years. The timing perfect when she's pulled off.
Ball hit the net. Kachiyamani has 15 kills, and now the Cardinal will have it. Detmer back into the front line. Cardinal not blocking as well as you would expect. Pretty good pass. Bremner. Ball popped up by Levy. Scooping it left side. And wisely keeping it in play. Tom, perfect pass, set left. Here comes Yamasaki, and she drills it.
And finally, Stanford able to get the perfect pass. So what that does is it holds Kachiyamani in the middle, leaving Yamasaki with a seam.
6 kills for Yamasaki, who will join Tara Vanderveer's basketball team as soon as the volleyball season concludes.
In fact, Chris, a lot of people think that Yamasaki might make a decision during the spring whether or not she'll continue to play both sports.
Comes Kachiyamani coming around the horn. Pretty good dig there. Kagawa out of the back line. Schoenfeld with a dig. Bremner. Kachiyamani puts it away. Lauren Kachiyamani off the top of the block.
And Penn State is touching a lot of balls, digging balls. That's what they did against Pacific. The hammer out of the back row, whether it's Elsa Stegman or Logan Tom, they are digging and turning them into points.
Ball dug, chance for a point into the middle. Kachiyamani, Bremner knows it now. Bremner starting to feel it, and she's feeding her big gun, Lauren Kachiyamani.
Again, pulled off to the 10-foot line. What Lauren does that makes that successful, she doesn't go tight to the net. She leaves room to swing.
Here comes Walsh, and Walsh hits off the block out of bounds. Good kill for Walsh. That is 7 for Walsh, but she has 10 errors. Now Walsh will serve. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Robin Lewis is coming in, and Lindsay Kagawa is going out. Don Shaw has seen enough, and he is hoping that his junior from Long Beach can turn things around. And the ball hit out of bounds.
Robin Lewis is a bigger blocker than Kagawa. She's got soft hands, good timing in the middle because of her height. Closer hands to Detmer and Conrad and Sandra.
Could change the tempo a bit. Set left, here comes Schoenfeld, and Schoenfeld hits it out of bounds.
So Lewis doesn't even have to do anything, and suddenly she has forced Penn State into 2 consecutive hitting errors. Robin Lewis's brother, Chris, a redshirt quarterback on that Stanford team that's heading to the Roses, to the Rose Bowl.
Kachiyamani back in. Schumacher back in. 6-4 now. Bremner back set. Here comes Kachiyamani, and she gets the touch. Robin Lewis's biggest asset when she runs the attack is her ability to set the quick set. So watch for that. She's got Detmer in there. Let's see if she's got enough guile to set Detmer on the first play. No, she sets left to Yamasaki. Ball dug up. 6-4 is our score. Back set, Schumacher off speed, and she gets it. Katie Schumacher replacing Christy Cochran, the spiritual leader from a year ago, Heather.
And how smart the decisions that Schumacher is making. Normally, she goes for the home run. Even on a bad pitch, she goes for the home run. Tonight, she's playing smart volleyball.
Lewis out of the back line, sets Walsh, and Walsh delivers. If you're Lewis, do you go to Tom and Walsh all the time now, or do you try to spread it around? What do you do?
Spread it around.
Okay.
Lewis has watched these first 2.5 games from the bench and has recognized that the middles have not been an offensive factor and the outsides haven't gotten it going. So I say establish the middle first.
Sarah Clark is in, a local from Hawaii Prep High School. Good pass there. They'll set Schoenfeld, and Schoenfeld whacks it off the top of Lewis. Carrie Schoenfeld playing one of her best matches ever. She has 9 kills. She's hitting .353, 9 digs, and perfect passing.
And Chris Schoenfeld in the previous 2 finals hit just 15%. Tonight at 35%, just a drastic improvement.
Detmer gets the kill. That's the quick set we were telling you about from Lewis to Detmer. And here comes Gregory. Gregory, high floater. Good pass by Rome. They'll set Levy. Ball dug. Chance for a point. Here comes Lewis. She set it too low. Bremner sets left. Schumacher cranks inside, and it's popped up. Bremner out of the back line. Oh, no. Kachiyamani wasn't ready. Over to the left side, Logan Tom. Lions have been able to control Tom. Schumacher down the line. Walsh on the run. Set left. Double contact. Give the ball to Penn State. Wow, that was an ugly rally. I guess you want to win the ugly ones as well as the beautiful ones.
It doesn't matter how you score as long as you put those points on the board. And Lewis thrown into a very tough situation. Hasn't had a lot of playing time all season long. Comes in to really salvage her team in a tough situation.
Stanford down 2-0 and 7-4 here in game 3. Robin Lewis in a good serving rotation. Back set, here comes Schumacher, and she is rejected by Logan Tom. Make it 7-5 now.
And that's the matchup Don Shaw was looking for at the beginning of tonight's game. Put Tom on Schumacher. Schumacher considered the most potent of the 3 outside hitters.
5 blocks for Logan Tom. Set left, here comes Rome, and Rome knuckleballs it out of bounds. So Penn State has had 3 hitting errors in this sequence and given up 3 points. Stanford pulls to within 1, 7-6. Robin Lewis continues to serve. Bremner back set, Schumacher one-on-one, and she pounds it. Heather, one of the keys to this match, the ability of the Lions to control Logan Tom hitting-wise. Tom, 6 kills, 9 errors, hitting negative.
Amazing when you think on the season, Logan Tom, the freshman, hitting .334. Don't forget, she is playing in front of a home crowd. Her dad here, a local player, local product.
They said Tom.
Pressure.
Chance for a point, it's 7-6. Back set, here comes Rome. Rome goes over the top. Left side, here comes Walsh. Off the net, nice up by Rome. Robin Lewis is in, nobody can get there. Off speed, here comes Bremner. Schumacher sets middle, Kachimani says get out of the way, and she puts it home. You gotta get the ball to that woman, Lauren Kachimani, if you're Penn State.
Kachimani going up against a triple block and picks up her 19th kill. The difference is Kachimani is getting a great support system from the rest of her team. A lot of people involved in this offense so far.
9-6 as Penn State extends its lead to 3. Kalna Miller has been doing a good job of serving, and now Don Shaw is going to bring back Kagawa.
I like this. Robin Lewis rotates into the backcourt. You don't lose anything with a blocking setter.
I think it was a good attempt. They put Lewis in, hoping for the comeback. Didn't work. You put your #1 setter back in.
And perhaps you bring Lewis in the front court when Kagawa rotates into the front court to block a ball.
I'll tell you, if Stanford doesn't get its side-out game going, she won't get back to the front court. It's 10-6 now. Penn State ahead. Tom, good pass. Into the middle, here comes Tom, and she buries it. Logan Tom with some tunder.
There's that blocking signal again. That's the switch block, not hang loose, buddy. It's switch block. Walsh goes to the left, Clark to the right. Stop the hot hitter.
Bad pass there. They get it over to Rome. Chance for a point. Into the middle, and another hitting error. Wow, Stanford now with 36 hitting errors. And the ball back to Penn State now. The Lions will put in their best server. Born in Hawaii, raised in Brazil, Leilani Schlattfeld, 10 serving 6. Passes off the net, out of the middle, here comes Tom. Ball dug by Schlattfeld, scoop it up. Taking a whack at it was Kachimani, into the middle, and another ball hit out of bounds. Can you believe it? And Penn State gets to 11. Timeout, Stanford.
What Penn State's serving game has done so well is they're really attacking that 0-2 position. Sarah Clark or Lindsay Yamasaki. Look for Schlattfeld to serve area 5 down the line against Clark.
Schlattfeld trying to get it in. Passes off the net, set into the middle, Walsh, nobody up. Penn State discombobulated there. You have to watch the Lions now. Would they get nervous here? They're in control as Detmer checks back in. How mentally tough are the Nittany Lions? Can they put Stanford away here, or will they get nervous?
I'm impressed. Bonnie Bremner just calling the setting signals, looked to see who was blocking and changed it up against Detmer.
Rome gets the set and Walsh stuffs her.
And that's going to happen. That's what Stanford's strategy is. Leave Walsh with the entire right side of the court, making them think they're one-on-one. But when Walsh is up against you, it's really like 1-on-3. She's that good of a blocker.
Bremner sets right. Kachimani pokes it over and it drops. I say you got to set Kachimani more.
Okay.
Even if she can't get it all of it or can't get a big piece of it, you got to get it to your big hitter.
What Bronny is doing is trying to set the hitter that only has one blocker, but I don't think you can do that against Walsh. Set your hot hitter.
Yeah, Walsh is like 1.5, as Al Michaels would say. Back set, here comes Walsh. They're riding her, and Rome can't bring it up. Score remains 11-7. Stanford will get the ball. Kerry Walsh with 2 NCAA titles. Put her heart and soul into this season, wants to finish on top. She needs to rally her team right now. Walsh jumper, no, into the top of the net. Historically, it's harder to serve in an NCAA championship final, wouldn't you say?
And especially for Walsh, since she was 11, a ball girl for the Stanford Cardinal volleyball team, she has dreamed of wearing red, and I think she's just put way too much pressure on herself tonight.
Set left, ball's up in the air, chance for a point, no, it's coming back over. Penn State's nervous. Bremner takes it on 2. Penn State bumping into each other. It's coming back over the net. Bremner, who does she set? She goes to Schoenfeld. And Schoenfeld got a touch. Point Penn State. 12-7. Now just 3 points away are the Nittany Lions out of the back row. Logan Tom sails it long. And Russ Rose's squad.
How do you stay calm?
Getting closer now. Russ, as calm as he can be at the moment. 13-7. Cacciamani continues to serve, but first a substitution. Here comes Emily Lawrence, and out goes Sarah Sandrick. Penn State serving in game 3. The ball hit into the net, and Penn State has come to the brink. The Penn State Nittany Lions serving their first match point for their first NCAA title ever. Yamasaki is back in. Cacciamani will serve it. Russ Rose trying to throw that monkey off his back. Good pass. Set Detmer. She hit it off, and the East has risen. Penn State wins its first NCAA title ever.
Congratulations to Stanford University for an outstanding 1999 season.